Hey guys, Tactical Nut here with Adventure Camping and another knife review for you. Today we're going to be talking about the Mykel Hawke Pereguine with icekon coating. Now I've been using this knife for a while now, and surprisingly I haven't done a review yet, and to be honest with you, it really deserves one. So let's just go ahead and get started with the specs first before we do anything else. You've got a 5-inch Aus-8 blade with what they call the icekon coating, and as you can see there, that's a pretty sick looking design, looking like ice, snow, that kind of thing. Now you also have lanyard holes here and here so that you could lash this in a groove here so that you could lash this to a stick if you needed to. Tanto point. You also have the recurve design with the 17 degree angle right here. Just like on his Hellion 2020. There's a decent thickness here. It's a little less than 1/4 of an inch. As you can see, full tang, and even the lanyard hole here at the bottom has the icekon coating, which is pretty cool. You know, not even necessary, but just a good little touch to add. You do have a little bit of jimping right here. Not enough to say that really locks it into place if your fingers are, you know, barehanded, but if you got gloves on, it actually does a pretty good job. The handle scales, I believe, are Zytel. But it's cool because they're really, really firm, but it kind of does feel soft at the same time, so I really like the grip on this. As you can see, it's got grooved here for some good traction, some serrations under here for a little extra traction, and the handles are held on by these Torx screws. So I'm sure you could take them off if you needed to clean it, maybe if you wanted to put a different kind on there. Now, not a very heavy knife, but this does actually really well in a host of things. Because if you watch my review on the Hellion 2020, he designed that one blade to be able to do a whole bunch of different things. Now this can't do as many, but it still lends itself to doing a ton. Because he does have, you know, your sharper end here, you know, for your fine carving, this part for your notching, this part for chopping, and yes, this knife will chop even at this size. This you could use for creating a trough if you wanted to cut into, obviously this is hard knuckles, not going to cut myself, cutting a trough into something for a fireboard or just a groove or anything like that. It's a very strong point, very strong tip, so I do like that. And before you start with all the cutting and stuff, let's just go ahead and knock out the sheath. You got a nylon sheath. Don't hate it, don't love it. It does have a hard plastic insert in here. Now this isn't Kydex like on the Hellion, but this is a far less expensive knife. You do have a gear pocket here, which you could store sharpening stone. I keep trioxane. You could do any kind of little survival gear. Fire steel, magnesium bar, lighters, survival fishing kit. I mean, you name it, whatever you feel the need to carry. It is MOLLE compatible, so I do strap this onto my pack every time I'm going out. I usually don't wear it on my belt, but you do have the belt loop here, and it, you know, does work quite well. Once again, just like any sheath, I will have to knock it on the retention strap. It is Velcro. Does it work? Does it hold the knife in? Yes, it does. But, you know, it's not going anywhere. But it does flop around. As you can see, it is starting to come out. So, the noise part, you know, I hear a lot of people, they'll talk about the noise that a sheath makes. This one, obviously, is pretty quiet. You'd have to be pretty close to hear this. But unless you're in a tactical environment, you know, law enforcement, military, or something like that, I really don't care if the sheath makes a little bit of noise. Leg strap here, you know, paracord for that. But I do like, even though I'm not worried about noise, I would like, you know, a more secure feeling. You know, if you put a button on here, I know a lot of people will go out and get a custom Kydex or something like that for these kind of knives. For me, I mean, if that was the only knife I was going to buy, okay, yeah, that would make sense to me. But since I use a lot of knives and I buy a lot of knives. I'm not going to go spend as much on a sheath as I am the knife. I'll leave that up for you to decide, but you know, most people aren't going to buy 50 knives in their lifetime, but you know, I'll buy 50 in a year. So for me, going out and spend a ton of money on a Kydex sheath, unless I know this is going to be my go-to blade, I'm not going to do it. Maybe in the future. I mean, I've loved this knife almost a year's worth of use, so let's just go ahead and get started and show you what it can do. Now I came over to here, so if you were out camping, hiking, you need to start a fire, you got a downed tree over here, you know, you got a main branch that you need to take off. Well, let's see if we can do it. As you can see, with the angle of this blade, and I think it's only around 10 ounces, so it's not real heavy, but with this recurve in the blade, it makes chopping a really easy thing to do. See? I mean, and just so you can see how thick this was. It's also another way to take out the wood. If you need to collect it, you know, it's a decent thickness. That was pretty effortless to get that thing out. So of course your next question is going to be is, well, can it baton this? Well, if you watch any of my other videos, let me pause this so I can stand this tripod up a little bit higher. Alright guys, as I was saying, if you watch some of my camping and hiking videos, you'd see me using this for batoning. But going cross grain here, I mean, you can do it almost any way you want. Woo, excuse me. Just trying to keep it all in frame, but I mean, this knife has been highly impressive to me. And if you need to process wood, I mean, I can sit here and just beat on this, but if you've ever batoned with a knife before, obviously you can see this works. Now the coating, I will say, as you can see, it's getting a little love here. Any blade coating that you can find is going to wear off, but this has withstood a ton of abuse. I mean, I've been doing this, I've used this knife a lot, and most of this coating is, the vast majority is still on there. So, it's definitely going to help with rust resistance and corrosion. OS8, I mean, it is a stainless steel, but it will rust, so you will have to keep it oiled once this blade coating starts to come off, or, just your edge. Which this came with it just takes a mirror finish on that edge. So I do enjoy that. Let me get a smaller stick here so we can show you that obviously shaving, if you want to make any kind of tool, spear point is obviously the easiest one to show you kind of right out the bat. But I've noticed, feather sticking with the short part here. Oops, sorry, losing my grip. This wood's low. I mean, that's just a quick, not trying to do the whole, well, let's do a little bit bigger ones to show you. But what I've noticed too is that sometimes using the part that's further away from you, very little effort here. But when you're shaving, using this front part up here does extremely well. A little bit better than using down here, but down here, you know, this part is really, really good for notching, which I'll knock one out here for you real quick. You know, this kind, like if you wanted to hang something, set a trap for a snare, you know, got your notch there. So, I mean, this knife, it will do pretty much everything that you want it to do. I mean, some people might like a little bit longer blade to be able to span more wood for batoning. I understand that. This, I mean, most of the time when I go camping and hiking, I'm by myself, so large fires, I mean, I'm not building for a group, I'm just building to keep me warm, do my little thing. So this takes care of everything that I need. I honestly wouldn't have any issue or worry that this couldn't even tackle some larger tasks. You just got to be a little more creative. Instead of spanning a big, huge piece of wood, cut a section of it off, batoning down that way. But all kinds of bush crafting skills, fire making, I mean, really comfortable handle. I mean, I don't know what else to say besides, you know, this knife was awesome. Typically it's about $45 to $55 depending on where you get it from. But the only downside, and which is kind of why I wish I would have done this review a lot sooner, he's coming out with a new version of this, and I think it's either this month or next, of the Pereguine, which I don't know if the icekon coating is going to come on it. This is the first edition that he ever did. So I think you can still find these on occasion on the aftermarket, Amazon, eBay, or something like that. But most of your distributors, you know, are not going to have it anymore. I got mine from Smoky Mountain Knife Works, and they're out of a lot of his products because he's revamping a lot of them. But extremely happy. I highly recommend it. When he gets the new 2.0 that comes out, give it a shot. I guarantee it'll be worth the money, because if they improved upon this, then, I mean, it's going to go from excellent to outstanding. So, all right, guys, that's my review on this. I hope it helps. The Mykel Hawke Pereguine with icekon coating. Just get another look at that. That is just one awesome looking blade coating. I mean, just cool. All right, so hope this helps you in deciding. Like I always say in my videos about Mykel Hawke, I really respect the guy. I like supporting him. He does a lot of great things for our men and women in service. So if you can, check his stuff out. I guarantee you'll like it. In the meantime, be prepared, have fun.